James, David Hill not available again this week. What's the exact problem with him?
He's got a little thing in his hip that's not that serious. We thought it was a knock after the Western Bulldogs game. And it's just shown up as a slight strain of a little muscle in his hip. I'm not even going to try and pronounce the muscle, but we're hoping he'll be back by the Carlton game. So we could push him up this week, but we think it's a long year, and he didn't have a great pre-season, so we'll just wait until the Carlton game next week.
Obviously, you lose Myers this week. Anyone available to come back?
Henry Slater's a chance. Angus Monfrey's a very good chance. And then we've got Brent Prismal, Kyle Reimers, Collier as well in contention, and Gumbleton as well, who played very well in the reserves. I think they had 7 shots a goal in the reserves on the weekend. So just depending on how we want to structure our team and how many big blokes we want to go in with, depend who we play.
So if it's in Kilda, so this week, they need to harden up, they need to hunt. I guess you know what you're going to expect this weekend?
Yeah, look, St Kilda are a very good side. We know they're a very good side, and they play very hard normally, but they've been stung a little bit, I suppose, by the first 2 weeks, and losing an inspirational guy in Lenny Hayes, and then Nick Riewoldt's 200th game. It also culminates in a big game for them, and it's a big game for us too. So I think both sides will come out pretty hard.
Kind of weird. Your coaching career officially is 2 games that you're going to play St Kilda for the 3rd time. Do you take anything out of those NAB Cup games?
Oh, I think so. I think we take a lot out of them in that we know their players reasonably well, and our players have played against St Kilda a lot over the last couple of years, so they know that. But I think what you take out of St Kilda is the fantastic side they've been over the last 2 years, and the great way they structure their side, the way they're coached. They do everything to the letter, do everything right. So when you play St Kilda, it's going to be a very, very hard game, and to be a chance of winning, you need to be at your best form.
In your role in the media in the last couple of years, why is it, watching from afar, did you think Essendon had the wood over St Kilda in those last 3 games?
I'm not really sure. It was hard to explain, wasn't it? Because St Kilda was just such a fantastic side structurally, and they did everything right with the ball, and they moved the ball so well. I think it had a fair bit to do with Essendon's speed, and probably if they could get behind them, that maybe hurt them. But we're a different side now, and they're a different side, so we don't really. I don't think you can afford to look past or on past performances. You've got to look forward, and that's what we're doing this week.
Given that, is there any reason why that sort of streak can't continue?
Yep, they won't want to lose. I just think you can't say because you beat the side 3 or 4 times previously that you're a favourite against them. There have been a better side than we have for a long time, and we need to be at our best to be competitive with St Kilda.
When you hear a coach come out and say they need to hunt the opposition, you need to remind your players to make sure that you guys are on the front foot. You don't give them a chance to do that.
I think every week, Julian, that you don't hunt your opposition, you're in trouble. You need to hunt your opposition, and maybe last week we waited for Sydney a little bit, so we'll be on the front foot as well. And I'm not sure you need to listen to too much what other people are talking about. Other clubs, we're worried about ourselves playing the best football we can.
As a group, did you learn more out of the loss to Sydney than you did out of the win over the Western Bulldogs?
I learned that we didn't like losing. Didn't like losing. Wasn't much fun losing a game, and we have to tighten up some areas where we didn't perform that well against Sydney. And we thought that against Western Bulldogs we played very well in some areas, but against Sydney we let ourselves down in those areas that we played well in. So going back this week, and that's what we're training on today, and working on for the rest of the week until the St Kilda game.
Yeah, John, I know it's only a couple of rounds, but considering what the team was doing last year and where they finished, did these guys exceeded your expectations in the way they performed or not?
I really haven't thought about it, whether we're exceeding expectations or not exceeding expectations. The way we're thinking about it, we've said all along, is we want improvement, and I think that we've got 1 win and 1 loss. Last week we we probably improved a little bit on what we wanted to do, but there were some areas that we didn't improve on, and we went backwards in a couple of areas. So we know that we have to work very hard each week and each training week and then each game to get better, and that's what we're trying to do this week. I mean, let ourselves down a tiny bit, I think, last week in certain areas. So I'm not trying to avoid your question, but it's hard to answer. We haven't set expectations, but we want to improve every week. And last week we probably didn't improve as much as I think we needed to.
How'd you find the ruck combination between Belchambers and Ryder last week?
Yeah, very good. Tom played very well. I think he dominated the ruck work, and unfortunately we didn't get the quality ball out of the middle that Tom gave us. I mean, Tom had fantastic tap outs around the ground. and I think he definitely earned his place in the team, and that combination worked pretty well. And Paddy had an exceptional game, both in the ruck and in the forward line. So I think that's working quite well.
Just how you approach that change this week, given that you're playing against a team that's only playing one ruck at the moment in McAvoy, and Cozzy's obviously unlikely to be.
Not really. No, we'll structure ourselves up to the best way we think, and I think it's definitely two ruckmen. And the advantage we've got with Paddy in particular is he, if needed be, he can play a permanent forward or permanent back role, so it gives you a lot of flexibility in that area.
Without Lenny Hayes, who's been their sort of one constant in the centre square, do you expect them to do something a bit different? Does it mean Goddard spends more time there, or how do you think that'll change the way they sort of set up?
Yeah, look, you don't want to go too far about what they're going to do, but I imagine Goddard will spend a bit more time there. Armitage spend some time in there. They're still a very hard and very good clearance side. So Lenny is the player that I think every clearance footballer wants to be like, and he's a great role model for not just his own team but for all footballers. So they're definitely going to miss him. But they've got a depth of midfield that is not just about one player. So. We'll expect, obviously, a few changes going through there, and one of those would be Brendan Goddard spending a little bit more time in the midfield.
With Myers' injury, do you intend to bring in someone, a key position player, or use someone like Robert Murray or Hardy to play that third tall?
Yeah, I think we've got the option to do that. Nathan will definitely play. Nathan Murray will definitely play this week and probably spend some time down back as that third tall. But Kyle can play on a tall or a small, so we've got some options. But then if we were to bring Gumbel in, maybe we can move one of our forwards up down back. So we still have, it's been a short week for us since Sunday, so we've got a lot of thinking to do today, and we'll see how the guys train and then make some decisions this afternoon.
The all-important job on Relock?
It'd probably be Carl Hooker. I mean, Carl Hooker's played with him a couple of times, and and Carl's got reasonably good fitness, or very good fitness, and he's a good one-on-one player. There's probably no one who can go with Reebok all over the ground because of his absolute fitness, but we're confident Carl will do a very good job, and Nick's playing his 200th game, so he'll be out as a whole team. We'll have a fantastic game.
And also too, probably because he's been a bit quiet the last couple of weeks, do you take anything out of what was it, Geelong and Richmond have done? I suppose a lot of their midfield pressure up the ground was probably restricting Reebok more than just one-on-one. What do you come to?
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's been quiet. I think he's played a role for his team, which is to sit under the ball a bit and if not win those contested marks, then bring them to ground, which enables your runners to get there. So I suppose the way you look at the game, whether you say it's quiet, I mean, he's such a focal point for them and straightens them up and gives them an option. So I'd say he's actually played his role very well so far this year.
Going back to the sub, Nathan Murray appears to be a perfect sort of sub player. Is the maximum you can play someone 2 weeks in a row if you want to play him the week after?
Yeah, he won't be playing the sub role this week. 3 weeks is just too long, and it's actually suited Nathan quite well. He came off a calf strain I think it was in the first NAB Cup round, so that'll probably be 8 weeks ago now. So it's actually given him a really good progression through the year, good training, a couple of half games which he's played, now ready for a full game. So it's worked out very well for us and for Nathan, and he's a true professional, Nathan, and gets himself physically super fit and mentally tough. So that rule's worked out well for us. In terms of playing someone, 2 weeks would be the maximum, I think.
Is this week the toughest challenge so far in the first round?
It is, because it's coming up. I mean, last week was tough. Week 1 was tough. We're playing against some of the most hardened professionals in the AFL, and there's probably no team that has worked harder at structure and being a good team in the last 2 years than St Kilda. So this is a test against the best, and we're looking forward to it.